We're calling the meeting of the Recreation and Parks Commission to order at 6:03. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We humbly acknowledge that we sit within the unceded traditional ancestral homelands of the Chichoneo and Ohlone people who have occupied and cared for this land since a distant prior to the founding of the city of Richmond, prior to the California Statement, and for centuries before the establishment of the United States. As the Recreation and Parks Commission, we strive to steward the land in a way that honors its past, current, and future inhabitants, and takes seriously the responsibilities of its continued care. The mission of this commission is to advise the City Council and city staff to provide excellent parks and recreation facilities, to preserve open space, and to provide programs that enrich, educate, and serve the needs of the diversity of the residents in Richmond.
Okay, we'll take roll. Chair Mignoni.
Here.
Vice Chair Torres. Present. Secretary Kostolnik.
Here.
Treasurer Warren.
Here.
Commissioner Gomez and Commissioner Rogers notified us that they would not be here tonight. Commissioner Roney.
Here.
And Commissioner Smith.
Present.
Thank you.
Individuals in the audience may speak for 2 minutes as follows. For items not on the agenda, staff will recognize each speaker for open forum. For agenda items, staff will call on each speaker after the item is introduced. Please complete speaker card and provide to city staff. Reminder, all communication during this meeting is conducted with courtesy and respect, and all the speakers will be advised time is up and will be asked politely to end their time. The order in which the items will be heard may be adjusted by commission vote at this time. I don't think we have anything to move around. It's pretty simple. In addition, items may be removed from or placed on the consent calendar at this time. Does anyone have a motion to proceed?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Any abstentions? We will move on then. Where are we? Okay. Individuals who would like to address the commission on matters not on the agenda may do so during open forum for 2 minutes per speaker. Please come forward if you wish to speak during open forum.
Okay, we received 3 speaker cards. First up is Mr. Cordell Hendler. And you'll have 2 minutes to speak, Cordell. Thank you.
So, good evening, Chair Mignoni, Commissioners. For the record, I am Cordell Hendler, and I have some wonderful news to share with you all. But first, I do want to congratulate Vice Chair Torres for her reappointment to this commission. So, it's been like a number of months, so I'm like, we got that resolved. But the update is that I did attend the Richmond Youth Council last Thursday, and I have informed that we have 2 openings for this commission. So my plan is to get this on the council's agenda for next month. So that's to be determined. So I'll inform y'all at y'all next meeting. But coming up on the day after your meeting on July 9th, you're all invited to the Contra Costa Mayor's Conference, and this time it's going to be in San Pablo. So you have to RSVP ahead, and it's only $80, and that includes dinner, drinks, and dessert. So just RSVP ahead, and I will reiterate my comments from the last month. So I go to the parks every day, and I'm thinking like it's beautiful. It would be great if we had some some signage up there that people are not supposed to be in the parks after a certain time, because I say that because I was in a Zoom meeting with the city of Berkeley recently, and they have some signage that is visible at every park, and I'm thinking to myself, it would be great if we had take that same concept from Berkeley's model to put it right here, make it more visible, so that way it can be like in a different number of languages. So we have some English, Spanish, other languages. So it would be great if we have those signage, in those languages. So that's all I have to say.
All right, our next speaker is Darlene Rios-Drapkin. And you'll have 2 minutes to speak.
Hi, thank you, fellow commissioners and staff. I just wanted to give you an update on what's happening at pickleball. We have, right now, I just left pop-up pickleball at Lucas Park, where there were I had volunteers, and I had an unused tennis court. And it's really exciting because the Iron Triangle Neighborhood Council wants to investigate adding that pickleball at that park, so it's been really exciting. We're tomorrow at Thrive Thursdays at Nichols Park, which is really fun to also have all kinds of folks coming over. Ms. LaShonda White attended the East Shore Neighborhood Council, and it was really exciting because that East Shore Council has agreed that the lights that we had, remember EPA secured a grant back in 2024, and we're looking to get that grant implemented with the lights. So thank you so much, Ms. LaShonda, for doing that. And then also the Freedom School Nystrom Ed Fund at the Nystrom School. We're doing Freedom School pickleball there. Also with the Latina Center, we're doing pickleball over at Burke Park on some unused tennis courts as well. We've submitted many dates for the MOU for tournaments, for leagues, for intro clinics that we hope will get approved. The MOU that we desperately need is when we resurfaced the courts about 3 years ago over at BTA. The courts are falling into disrepair, and EDPA wants to make a donation, wants to make the contribution to maintain those courts so that they don't fall into disrepair. I have heard that there is actually maybe one that RTA has, maybe Richmond Tennis Association. We can explore with them whatever MOU that they have so that we could repair the courts. Is that the 2 minutes, or is that my phone ringing? Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys for all your support for pickleball. I hope you guys will come out to BTA so that we can show you what the fuss is all about. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. All right, our next speaker is Gary Hurlbut. All right.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is very, very important. I was talking about pickleball, and my topic is about making sure.
Push the button.
Which button?
The
red button that says push the button right here. Not good at following directions, right? But the topic is really about making sure we really have good collaboration between tennis and pickleball and the city. Right now, tennis is really thriving here since about 15 years ago when we got an adult program started. We now have like 150 people in the adult program playing. There's 11 teams that play on weekends in Nickel Park. And then in the evenings, after the youth program ends up, we usually have practices each weekday night. And the youth program has really come back. For a while, we had a woman that was really conducting those in the rec department, and she retired, got pregnant, retired. And we did some volunteer work with RTA to help kind of keep it going. But since then, though, a group called the YTA, Youth Tennis Advantage Program, is working with the youth program, and it's just great. It's really thriving. So the kids come out after school. They do some mentoring on homework first, and then they actually be at work on the tennis courts from like 4 to 6. And this is all happening. All these things are happening at Nickel Park. And to be clear, sometimes it feels there's a contention between tennis and pickleball. Well, I just want to go very clear. I really am very enthusiastic about pickleball really coming into Richmond because it just gives us another venue for people to pursue active and healthy lifestyles like other sports within Richmond, like soccer, for example. The one concern is just making sure that we actually can figure out how do we actually manage our facilities, because the pickleball courts are different than the tennis courts. And if you may know, we have one tennis court at BTA, and the other are pickleball courts. There's some discussion about expanding nickel to pickleball. We're able to do something right now because we have 6 courts, and 2 of the courts over by the skate.
Thank you, Gary. Your time has expired.
Oh, I'm done.
Sorry. Thank
More
you.
to come.
That was our last speaker.
The next Recreation and Parks Commission meeting will be on July 8th. It throws me up, we're in July already. Sorry. Currently, we have $413.08 in our commission trust account. And the park tours will be on June 27th from 9 to 1. I'm going to guess that we're going to get information sent out to us so we know where to meet and everything, but I look forward to seeing doing some of this, that's for sure. Okay. Next is on the consent calendar is approval of the May 6, 2026 meeting minutes. Do I have a yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I just went dumb. I was like, oh, it's been one of those days. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
You aren't here, so we appreciate. Okay, then the minutes have been approved. Okay, we are going to start with Public Works. I don't know who's starting, so.
We'll start with Alex again. Is that okay? All right.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So, an update here with parks. So, continued weed abatement and vegetation management throughout parks, pathways, right-of-ways, and civic facilities to reduce fire hazards and improve visibility. So, it was repaired fencing in Humphrey Park, Play Lot, Nickel Park, and along the Richmond Greenway. Removed hazardous tree limbs and completed targeted tree pruning at multiple parks. This is May Valley. As you can see, there was weed abatement done there. There's a before and after. Next slide, please. Conducted defensible space clearing at El Sobrante and along Night Owl Court. We'll be finishing up here this weekend. And collected illegal dumping and removed litter and debris from parks citywide. Installed a new water backflow system and concrete pad at Miraflores Park. Rewired irrigation controllers at Shields Reed Park and Martin Luther King Jr. Park. Installed new dogway stations, restroom amenities, and upgraded park infrastructure, including drinking fountains and message boards. Renovating baseball fields and completed athletic field improvements at Lucas Park, Judge Carroll Park, John F. Kennedy, and Nickel Park. So there's been a continued landscape restoration efforts at the Plunge as we prepare for the 100-year anniversary. Installed new mulch, decomposed granite, weed barriers, and pathway improvements at Crescent Park, which was done as a volunteer event, which was exciting to see come together. So an added mulch and enhanced landscape areas at Nickel Park, around City Hall, and other public spaces, and performed ornamental pruning, shrub maintenance, turf edging, and seasonal color planting throughout the park system. Next one. Planted 15 new trees and enhanced landscape areas along Creeley Pathway. So if you get a chance over on Creeley and 55th, lead Gabriel Gomez went through and really refreshed the little pocket park. So if you get a chance, take a look at it. I'm pretty proud of him, of what he did out there. Completed some tree pruning and canopy maintenance at parks, overlooks, memorials, and civic facilities throughout the city. Removed some invasive vegetation, improved planting areas to support long-term landscape health. And then just kind of the general maintenance, and then continuing to look at proactive maintenance of irrigation, landscape, and park infrastructure systems to support safe and welcoming public spaces. That's the That's the update.
Do you have any questions? Go ahead.
Hi, Alex, thanks. Can you reverse slides, maybe 4 slides? It's just the one with the bullet points. Yeah, forward one, yes. Nope, the bullet points.
The one with no pictures.
Yep. Back one more. Keep going
You
past
were
it.
there.
The one with just bullet points on it. One more. That's stop. Yeah. No, that's okay. On this one, the third bullet point, you say install new dog waste stations, blah, 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 blah. What park is that for?
So that's areas like along the Greenway, and then every so often in parks they'll get either damaged or stolen, and so they'll replace them throughout there. Recently, along the Greenway was kind of the main area that because those ones get damaged pretty often.
Got it. So as I'm reading this, installed new dog waste stations, but the restroom amenities aren't new, and the drinking fountains aren't new in Massachusetts. Right?
So in the restrooms, we had a couple that didn't have. Oh gosh, I always have a joke for them, but the paper for the toilets, we installed those. Installed some new holders for the toilet paper, which had been damaged or ripped off the wall. So we had gone through and refreshed some of those and replaced them.
Which park was that at?
Oh gosh, so we had JFK was one of them, and then I believe BTA as well.
Great, thank you. It's a lot of work. Good job.
Thank you, Alex. As you can see, it's our time of,
We have one more question. I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Actually, I have a question on the same slide as Commissioner Warren. Since I think Commissioner Warren brought this up a few meetings ago, what is your common schedule for renovating those baseball fields? Because I think this season must have just ended.
Yeah, so we were able to finally get the ability to purchase bulk material here without having to go through an excessive amount of steps. So we started that process with Nickel Park and BTA, and then we added a little bit over at Lucas as well. Lucas needs a lot more. Generally speaking, we would be looking to do more of that during kind of late fall, winter time, before kind of the seasons really begin in spring. So we're going to kind of progress as we do it. We're just going to continue to replenish our supply of infield mix, and then just as time comes available for our leads, they're going to continue to administrate that so that we can kind of continue to build up those fields.
Great, thank you so much.
Anyone else? Before I got to pay attention here. I'm asleep.
I've got a separate question.
For Alex, or
Yes.
go ahead.
Thank you for the work that you've had done. I'm curious there's 2 questions I have. With what you have, I guess, updated, maintained, repaired, about how much out of your maintenance budget was that?
I really don't have a percentage of how much that was. I know we are continuing as we've come in here over the last year and a half, to try to refine that and establish a little bit more consistency through that. There were some old regime budget lines that didn't really fit with what we were trying to do right now. So some of those will need to get reallocated into kind of like our main maintenance budget. And then some of it also will be some of it will also be with, as we are able to increase access to different contractors for different scopes of work, we'll be able to kind of allocate that money a little bit more strategically.
Okay, great. And I'm not sure if I should ask you or Mr. Redley, but if you see people gathered at a park or play lot after dark with their own illumination, bringing their own equipment and all that, but it's definitely after dark, who do you talk to about that? Because I have a big concern about our responsibility and insurance and all that other stuff, because some of our, well, most of our parks are not locked off, and we don't want to have to do that, okay? But we do have signage out, and there are people who just totally disregard it. So who do we report this type of thing?
So the official answer would be the non-emergency Richmond Police Department. That's who you would contact.
Okay,
That's an enforcement issue, not a maintenance issue.
okay, well, I understand that. The type of person that I am, I'm not going to just call the police without letting you know that it has happened on whatever day at whatever location, because we need to understand what's happening on our properties. And I've seen people get picked up and put into cars to go. You know, it's like, I have no idea what the injury was, but I'm driving by and I'm seeing people, you know, do this. So just something to be mindful about. And it's been happening more just in the second half of last year and this year than I've seen it happen before. Maybe it's because the portable illumination that you don't have to plug in is more readily accessible. I don't know, but yeah. Thank you.
I'm just curious, and this is just for discussion. I'm wondering if there's not going to be a police response to stop it, I'm curious if the app, like making a report in the app would, you know, track some data behind it, right? Because that police call could just go into a black box somewhere, but I know it doesn't really solve the problem, but it might put some numbers behind it. I don't know if that's, I'm just saying those words out loud. I don't actually know if that's going to help or not.
Thank you.
I think honestly, in the very least, it would provide. Oh, sorry. I think honestly, in the very least, what it would do is provide like a paper trail. You know, which is kind of nice. I mean, I like using the app because when I send something, there's a work order placed, and I'm able to refer back to it. Hey guys, it's been a couple weeks. Like, what's going on here? So just even in that way, you know, at least it starts that, you know, way to reference it and come back.
It's definitely not as satisfying.
Yeah, I know, but still.
We've also, with the mini pitch cord at Wendell, was the only thing that wasn't cordoned off. And when they started taking the fences down, people just have 6-foot backyard fence instead of the 15-foot fence that was back there. And police would come through and go, "It's late, time to go home," and they would move out of there. So, you know, it depends on how they, you know, go about doing it in many ways. But yeah, we had that. I finally made sure they locked it up because I was tired of people jumping over fences and stuff to get their balls.
I just wanted to clarify, Commissioner Smith, what do you mean by portable lighting? Like flashlights?
No, like, okay, have you ever been on the freeway and you see people doing night work and they got lights like that? Okay, well, not quite that big, but definitely pretty close to that bright.
Oh, yeah, soccer, baseball, all of our youth programs, we do that in November when the time changes and it's dark at 5 and we still have practices and games. We have such a shortage of illuminated fields that we have to bring our own, I mean, my car, I carry around a gas generator and construction lights so that I have enough That's what we do. Our soccer league's been doing that for years.
No, I understand that, but this is not, the two places that I've seen it was not somewhere that was supposed to be used for soccer, especially after dark.
So what was it being used for? Like, why? What was the illumination there for? Like,
No, they were playing soccer.
oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I was just like, okay, that's
well,
that's not safe.
again, until we have enough facilities, these are the piecemeal solutions we have to make. That's kind of what people have to do. I'm not saying it's right, but part of the reason why I was so upset about the lights being out at MLK was because it was November, which is right after the time changed, and we have hundreds of kids that don't have anywhere to play when there's no illuminated fields. So
Yeah. No, I'm talking about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
yeah, that's pretty late.
Jason, it's your turn.
Great, thank you. So Alex covered a lot. It's our busy time of year. And so I'll just be real brief and on a staffing update, our second and last tree trimmer position, they started this week. So we've onboarded that. We'll be ramping up more of our preventative tree maintenance. You'll see our crews out and about quite a bit more. So that's all I wanted to add to our report.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the updates. I was wanting to hear from everybody before I asked. I started to see the turf at MLK Field start to come unseen, the seams start to come undone again. I'm concerned that we're gonna have a brand new turf field, Shields Reed Field, up and running, and we're gonna bump into a lot of the issues that we had with MLK. No, we're not. And I mean, my concern is the insurance stuff. Apparently, there were a lot of delays with getting MLK repaired. As a reminder, there was a massive hole in the penalty box for 3 months that children had to play on because they had nowhere else to go. And the issue I was told was that there was paperwork and insurance, and I understand that. I'm looking ahead, having these additional turf fields, what's being done to assure that the repairs are done more timely, what's being done with the MLK seams coming undone. It seems to be the same spots. I will tell you, rumor has it, and I don't operate on rumor. Rumor has it that the damage to MLK is intentional. That somebody is intentionally damaging these areas repeatedly. And we haven't seen it obviously, but it could be someone who is unwell, who's just messing with it. It could be kids who are picking at the field. I don't know. But from what people are saying, that this is something like somebody's doing on purpose. So I just wanted to throw it out there that I don't know if there are cameras or if there's anything happening or whatever. But it's expensive, and it's, as of today, it is still the only all-weather field we have in town. So I just wanted to hear from y'all about what's being done for future turf fields.
Yeah, so I won't go too deep into past issues. We did not have the proper contracts in place to address that issue promptly. We have addressed those now, and currently our team is working on a RFP to put out specifically for turf field maintenance, repairs, grooming, the whole, anything that we may need. I've also been given the go-ahead to purchase any and all equipment that we need in order to maintain those fields moving forward. So these two gentlemen here Alex is actually working on the RFP. I gave him some template stuff to kind of build off of, and he's already, it looks great. There's some fine tuning before we actually go out for official bids for that vendor. And then we will also be working on what equipment is needed. We do have some older equipment that I would like to get replaced and have a new fleet of equipment for those turf fields specifically. So when I shake my head saying, no, we won't have those problems, because we will not. This team will not allow it. The issues that we had in the past was not from us, and we don't operate that way. So we will be prepared for any issues. And Alex is already working on the repairs that are going to be needed at MLK.
And I did report it in the app, and I know
I
you guys are on it.
I added notes to the app.
Perfect.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
I
you
know
got
y'all are
them.
on it. I just
Yeah.
wanted to bring it up because, it's just, yeah, like you're saying, this is a good time to set up a process,
Mm-hmm.
moving, get ahead of it. So it sounds like y'all are on top of it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're working to make sure we have, whether it's monthly, bi-monthly, whatever that type of schedule is for those fields will be put in place once we have all the vendors in place.
I have a couple of questions regarding signs at parks, dusted on signs, something like that, just because I know parks in my neighborhood never had signs like that. And so that kind of thing, just to kind of remind people that, you're not supposed to be out there all the time doing all of that. And a few other things, people tell me about everything. There's stuff I don't care what's going on, but like if someone's using the park, I guess there's someone who's been advertising they're doing crop swaps over at Cheese Park, Lemoyne Park, and I guess they've been, putting it out there on social media and everything. And what, they're supposed to have a permit to do that? And I go, well, they used to do it at the library, but they can't now. So it's kind of this, is it really, it's not like they're out there for 6 hours, doing something. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, things that go up around with people, I wonder sometimes. But it's just one of those things, we have to be a lot more lean, what people do in parks. It's just, you're throwing a, full-blown birthday party or you got music going and all that kind of crazy stuff. But you know how that goes. But my other thing was replacing lights. We're not putting wired lights in anymore, are we? I mean, are we gonna rewire the BTA lights, or are we gonna go solar?
Are you talking about the sports lighting there?
Yes.
Those will be solar.
Okay, somebody, we're gonna put the new, I'm like, let's not put in.
The only time that we're putting copper back in the ground is when we don't have the opportunity to source and get solar in place. We also I've exhausted almost $2.9 million in solar in the last 6 months on 8 projects, so that money is essentially gone. So we've asked council for $3 million more for 26, 27, which we feel pretty strongly that we'll get. But when we do repairs, we still have to put copper in the ground. We are taking additional safety measures that I'm not going to talk about here. So we're hoping that some of these new things that we're trying will detour even further.
Yeah, back in, when Chris Chamberlain was the Parks and Landscape Superintendent, which goes back a few years, he literally was out there welding the thing. He go, I'm gonna weld it.
We did that, and they cut the welds.
Oh, I know,
off
they
of
get
the
right, I mean,
boxes.
they figure so, we have the North and East CERT team has a 20-foot container in Berg Park. And they've got that fancy lock, and they still get into it. They still break, they still find a way in. There's a, there's a way. Yeah, I just, if we maybe get some updates on signage that we're using and going to use in the parks, the new parks, the old parks, make everything kind of the same everywhere. And, I'm a big proponent of the QR codes to, how do we move, so we know. I don't want when Wendell's back up and running and I've got, people out there having their soccer tournaments anymore that, aren't allowed. From doing the neighbor to neighbor grant, we actually saw how much it cost to rent the fields and things. So we know what what it costs. And so we want to make sure that everything is done correctly and that we can, make the parks open for everybody, not just, the few. Your turn, Rajana.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you again. I missed the meeting last week, so I'm here again. I mean, last month, I'm sorry. Can't have a weekly meeting. So for recreation, we've been really busy, and we are also gearing up for a busy time this month. Last month on May 20th, we held the senior health fair and information and health fair, and it was very well attended by our community. So from what I understand from staff, there's a lot of young seniors around, so they come around for this information, and they also frequent both our community centers, the senior centers, so it's nice to see the attendance increasing at both sites. Next slide, please. As I mentioned before, we are getting ready for summer camp. June 15th is the day, but next week we will be involved in a lot of training, staff training, also mandated trainings, CPR, first aid, CPRS, mandated reporter training, and orientation for staff. So we do hire a lot of people during the summertime. We are going through hirings, which Christine can attest to, what a tedious piece of work that is, because she's our own HR in recreation. And so we have to ensure that everybody goes through the process and they're ready for the training. As you know, we offer summer camps of two different types. One is called the Elevate Camp, which is at RRC and May Valley, and those are camps that charge, whereas the Achieve Summer Camp are free camps. Those are located at 4 sites, BTA, Nevin, Parchester, and Shields Reed. We try to attract the children who are going to schools closer to the community centers, so that way they can receive the summer camp for no charge. And I believe some of the free sites are already full and there are waiting lists going. Next slide, please. We don't forget our teenagers. So one of the things that we do is in collaboration with East Bay Regional Park District and also funding through grant funds, we offer the teen programs. One is the Teen Eco Action, and that is something that's offered to youngsters for the age of 13 to 17. And actually, my daughter went through that too, and it's a very wonderful, very nice program where they are introduced to so many different types of activities and responsibilities, and they get empowered attending these programs, and they get a stipend too, so which is another attraction for them. Next slide, please. And then we also offer sports, continuous sports, baseball and softball. Is being offered through the summertime. We do offer a sports component of camp every year. This year we are trying to do it a little bit different with baseball and softball being part of that program, but they also include other types of sport events so that the kids get exposed to additional sports programs. And then Junior Giants is something that this year Recreation has taken the responsibility for hosting, and previously Richmond PAL offered that, but this year our staff are leading the programs. Richmond PAL is still supporting, so it's a collaborative program, and it's I saw the first pitch meeting happened last Friday at our social hall, and the social hall was full. So a lot of parent volunteers in support for this program. And most of the, like the T-shirts and all the items needed for the program does come from Giants, so we don't have to have a lot of spending on any of the program supplies. We just have to provide our staff. And then some exciting news is Shields Reed Park is almost ready. So we are hosting a grand opening on July 11th from 11 to 12. So we will send the flyers to you as well, but we want to make sure that we share this information with you, and we hope that you will be able to attend. And then Juneteenth is coming up on June 20th at Nickel Park. Our department, like so many other city departments, support this event. And we hope it will be another successful event. I think this year our staff is also doing a parade, so I'm taking part in the parade, and they're getting ready for that. And the one exciting highlight is, of course, the Richmond Plunge. And we are going to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Richmond Plunge on August 15th. We are in the process of preparing for this particular event. Public Works here, with the help of Darren and everybody else here on the team, plus other staff members, they have been very helpful in trying to help us getting this place set up and ready to go. And I'm sure it will look a transformed facility once it's all done. As far as on the recreation side, staff is really busy planning the activities for the day of the event, and there's still a lot of work to be done, and I'm sure you'll be getting invites from us eventually. And summertime, like we've done in a couple of years, we are offering additional movies this year. And one of the things that we started doing was, instead of hosting it only in the Civic Center Plaza, we took it to different parks, and the other communities get to come out and enjoy the movies. The one thing with the Civic Center Plaza is we tried to host that here several times. It's like a wind tunnel here, so windy, the screen even can't stay put, and it's just so hard to host a movie here, and sometimes we had to move it inside the auditorium. So going to different parks, it provides different environments for us, just within Richmond. The weather is so good, especially like Cheese Park. That is a really great place for movies. We didn't think it would be, but a lot of people came out there. And I understand that Tiller Park, too, had a lot of attendees. So it'll be nice to see what Marina Bay Park will look like. And of course, the 3rd of July. I can't even begin to tell you the nightmare we are going through in trying to confirm the contract with the vendor. And things are being given to us at the last minute. And we had to jump through hoops yesterday in trying to submit it for review and approval. So the event is happening, and we hope you will come out and support us. This is the 250th year of celebration, so we hope to see you there. And now that the contract is on its way for City Council approval, we can now worry about what other activities will be happening that day. So we are trying to work with bands and maybe some other entertainers to see who would be willing to come out there and celebrate with us. All right, and that's the end of our presentation. Questions?
Do we have any questions?
Just to confirm, is that still at the same area at the Marina Park?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to add one more thing. I don't know if you do tune into the city council meetings. At the last city council meeting, the council approved a fee waiver for the school district to host the Latino school graduations at the auditorium. I won't even mention what we had to go through in trying to get that done, but I just want to share that it turned out to be a nice event because it happened last Saturday. We had two things going on in the auditorium. One was the elections and one was the graduation, and it ended well. So I just wanted you to know that this is something that the city of Richmond has also, accommodated.
That does remind me. Last I checked, the master fee schedule was still in proposal stage. Has that been approved?
Not yet. They're still under, I think they keep moving it from meeting to meeting, and we have not received final approval yet.
I know last commission hearing, we had someone bring up a fee for renting courts, and so they would still have an opportunity to perhaps give feedback to the council, it sounds like.
It is still on the master fee schedule. Are you talking about like tennis courts? And so that is $16 an hour, which was approved some time ago. And we haven't made any changes, so it remains. What we are trying to do is to have a consultant, hire a consultant to come and do a fee study who will actually delve into how fees are arrived at and maybe propose what the fee should be in Richmond. We did have a study some time ago, but that study did not involve any of the adjustments on fees. The recommendation from the consultant was not to go back on fees, meaning like not to make heavy adjustments at that time, so none of the fees were adjusted. So we hope this time that the consultant that they use will lead us into getting more information about how fees should be assessed for different type of activities and facilities.
That's good to know. I see our friend from tennis is still here. Is there any reason not to share that with Darlene from pickleball?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Is there any reason I should, like, one of us can't share that information with Darlene, who
You mean the
has
master
departed?
fee schedule, or?
What you just shared about bringing in the
She
consultant.
has the information.
Okay.
Yeah, so initially when she came forward and she started using our courts, that's what we, staff provided to her. And only during the pandemic, so just for your information, during the pandemic, we took the liberty to adjust the fees at that time because we were trying to still allow people to use our facilities. And so we had brought it down by a certain percentage, but then when everybody came back into full operation, then we went back to using the fees in the master fee schedule.
Okay, thank you.
We're all good? Okay. Now it's time for our presentation.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. So a lot of discussion that we've had here with these meetings has centered around level of service in our parks, condition of our parks, what it is that we're doing, how we're responding to certain issues. So this is a presentation that's been given to council. It's also been shared with the Richmond Park Equity Project Group. So I wanted to share it with you guys this evening. The commission had requested that you received an update on the asset inventory and condition assessment from Tawfiq Halabi. That is not ready for presentation yet, so he had requested that we postpone, and hopefully it'll be ready to present to you guys next month. Next slide. So I wanted to pull back the curtains on our operation. So our operation essentially is built up through several categories. We have our staff, our equipment, means, methods, our resiliency, our backups, and then our materials and supplies that we need. So if we look at the staff, right, we have our staffing, we have our skill sets, the classifications, our experience, their availability, and then vacancies. If we go down to the bottom, that's our equipment. That's all the equipment we use. It's our trucks, it's our tractors, it's our mowers, it's our backpack blowers, it's everything, right? And that is what makes up that resource for us is the ability, an operator to run it, its capacity, right? The condition of the equipment, and is it the right piece of equipment for the task? If we move over to the bottom right, we have our materials and supplies. Alex made reference to the infill mix earlier. So are the supplies that we need available to us? We have a pretty lengthy procurement lead time here in the city. And then also, do we have the task appropriate materials and supplies? Are they standard and compliant? Meaning we can't mismatch parts on a play structure. It has to be the appropriate component. And then obviously storage and our handling, right? We wish we could stockpile all the materials we need, but that's not realistic. So if we move up one on the right-hand side to backups and resiliency, as you can imagine, with the staffing levels that we have in our unit, we could have a situation that we have 8 folks call out sick on one day. And so that is a component to our operation. Same thing with the equipment. We have equipment go down or we don't have materials and supplies available. That is what goes into our backup and our resiliency, our depth, if you will. Going up to the top right, that's our means and methods. We have regulatory. In Alex's update, you saw that open space work where the weeds were 3 feet tall, and then the next to the side of that, it was down below 3 inches. That is the work that we have to do in our open space. That's defensible space work. That's regulated work. It tells us when we have to do it, what we have to do, and when it is completed by. So we have planned intensity also. Planned intensity is the level of work that we're going to go out and perform. We have site conditions, which are always changing. Frequency, obviously safety, and productivity. All of these buckets go in to build our operational capacity. Next slide, please. Our operational capacity then is distributed amongst our areas of responsibility. 54 parks, 160 acres of very high severity zones, 500 trash cans around the city, 2 LMDs, which are landscape maintenance districts, one being Hilltop and one being Marina Bay. We have 70 acres of streetscapes. Streetscapes are the right-of-way, the medians, the public open spaces along the roadways. Then we have approximately 22,000 street trees that we're responsible for and trees within our parks. So again, all of our resources build our operational capacity. Our operational capacity is then distributed across all of our areas of responsibility. Next slide, please. So not long after I got here, when I joined the city of Richmond, which was February a year ago, I'm about a year and a half in. One of the objectives was to observe. One of the things that I wanted to implement very soon was making sure that our staff knew what their goals were, right? And so what we established were what we call our core pillars. Our core pillars are, and this is a sequence of priority. It's safe, clean, operational, maintained, and hopefully that, if all those are completed, it will be inviting. So we apply that every day in everything we do, in that order. And so our staff, when they leave the yard, as they're loading up their tools, they're still thinking safe, clean, operational. If they find something that's not safe, they fix it, lock it down, and report it. Same thing with clean. We make sure that we're taking care of the clean first. Next slide, please. So as we start to look at the framework that we have that we operate under, again, we have our operational capacity and we apply our core pillars. So level of service is the frequency that we do something, it's the work that we do, and it's the level that we do it at. Those 3 in combination equal to our level of service. So again, frequency, is it daily, weekly, bi-weekly, so on? The task, is it pruning? Is it leaf removal? Is it litter? Is it irrigation repairs? Then the detail, is it just a quick pass? Or are we going in and we're polishing? High level of detail. Next slide, please. Again, so operational capacity, we distribute we apply our core pillars at all levels. That kicks out the level of service. You're going to start to hear level of service quite often. It's a framework that we've put together in Parks and Landscaping. Darren is working on it across our other groups, right? Level of service. Our core pillars are extending into other groups. This is a mantra that we are going to work in. It's a framework that all of Public Works, it's starting in Parks and Landscaping, but there will be some components to it that you'll start to hear. Next slide, please. So here's the big one if you want. So we have 3 levels of service. We have level service 1, that's enhanced. We are obtaining safe, clean, operational, maintained, and inviting. That's the highest level of service that we can have. At the bottom there, you'll see weekly or more frequent mowing, and I'm using mowing as the example. That happens very frequent. And then if we go into level service 2, again, using mowing as the example, maybe we mow every 10 to 14 days at a little bit higher level, basic edging and trimming, and maybe some clippings left behind. At the bottom right, level of service 3, again, still using mowing as our example. Mowing is in an extended period of time or an as-needed cycle. Functioning maybe 2 to 3.5 inches, minimal to no edging or trimming, and we probably will be leaving clippings behind. If you go back up to the blue blocks there, level service 1, 2, and 3, you'll see in yellow, LMD 1.5. That's about the average of our 2 LMDs level of service. On average is about a 1.5. If you go over to the right, city, 2.5. That's about the average that we have across the remainder of our parks and open space system. If you look again, level service 1, we're achieving all of them. Safe, clean, operational, maintained, and inviting. Level service 2, safe, clean, and operational is our core focus. We may not get to highly maintained and achieve the inviting that we want. Level service 3, we're really just getting to the basics, and that's safe and clean. Next slide, please. So with all that being said and all the planning that goes into it, we have disruptors. And I think we all can understand what disruptors are. Our day doesn't go as planned, curveball, change of plans, whatever you want to call it. But we've identified disruptors in each one of those categories. Obviously, staff, right? When we're reduced, when we have reduced staff, when they're redirected to higher priorities, vacancies, absences, if our staff is missing the skill set, that's a disruptor for us. Obviously, going down, equipment, is it being used by someone else? Do we have a breakdown, or do we just flat not have that piece of equipment that we need? The task, new parks that we're onboarding, that's a disruptor to us, because then now that dips into more of our operational capacity, right? Changes to routine, planned work that's not completed goes on a backlist, or we go back to it, and again, we have these disruptors. Materials and supply, that supply chain for us to obtain the equipment and the supplies and the materials that we need, right? The resources, we're working on those, right? We're collecting our inventory data, standards and guidelines. Again, that data that's missing for us, it's a disruptor, because when we hear things that people ask for, we don't have the data that confirms that request is sometimes valid. Typically, it's about an addition to a park. For instance, if someone asks for restrooms to be installed into a park, or a particular sports field or court to go into a park, it's disruptive for us to put cycles into working through that when we're lacking the data. That data will tell us what we're missing and where it's missing and what we need to do about it. So going up to the means and methods, we have our older parks and infrastructure. We have high deferred maintenance. We have regulation and policy. What does that mean? We have means and methods that are available to us that is high labor. So when we go and we do our weed abatement and we're trimming the weeds all along the fence lines in parks, in our medians, we're doing that by handwork. And that's a string trimmer, AKA weed eater, or hand pulling or mowing. We do not employ using herbicides, and so we are relegated to a high level of intense labor to get that work done. As many of you know, weeds can grow 3 inches in a day if the environment's right, so that's a constant battle. So means and methods can be a distractor for us, right? Our parks are highly utilized, and I say that very friendly. What is also entailed in there is our misuse and abuse of parks. That is very detrimental. It's disruptive. If our staff goes out to a park and finds a hazardous situation, hazardous condition, our core pillars are going to always be invoked. We're going to go take care of that issue first with safe and clean. That is disrupting us from getting to the maintenance part, but that is our priority. If it's broken glass or something left over from an encampment, something like that, we are going to make sure that we target it first. Next slide, please. So this is some of the work that we're putting into what's within our control, and this is hopefully that we're trying to achieve a direction that we're going that we mitigate these disruptors, right? And so for staff, we're planning ahead. We're training staff up. We're filling our vacancies. Equipment, the same thing. You'll hear Darren repeat a lot about RFPs, equipment purchases. There's been a very, very big movement into getting us the right stuff for what we need and when we need it. The same thing with the task. We're looking at efficiency in our routes, the way that we deploy our troops. And Alex has done that. Something as simple as making sure that we go in a route that makes sense when we go out. We're not running from one side of town to the other to complete things. Same thing with the materials and supplies. You've heard that. We're putting out RFPs. We're looking ahead. We're ordering and getting contracts in place for anticipating needs that we have. Establishing our foundation, right? So Tofik is working on completing our inventory and the assessment, condition assessment. We're working on creating our standards such as this, right? What's our framework of level of service? Establishing matrices that all coincide. You've heard about our CIP program, our programmatic approach to CIP. That has a whole process that projects are put in, they're evaluated, and they go onto a list by rating. There's a crossover. There's an intersection that happens that the public usually doesn't quite understand. There's only so much we can do in maintenance. If we have an old, aged-out park system, park structure, we can only maintain it so much. We're not going to bring it back to new until we bring it back to new, right? So there's a crossover of when we need CIP. So the work that our engineering group is working on, particularly Darcy, the work that Joseph's putting in on the engineering side for the big umbrella of CIP, the work that Tofik is doing, all of this intersects with each other. The work that we're doing on the urban forest inventory, right? So that project is getting us the data. So we're working on that, building our foundation. It doesn't happen overnight, but we're working on it. Again, means and methods, we're looking at such improvements as the solar lights, right? We're putting a better fix out there. Strategically tacking deferred maintenance is key for us. You see some of on the update from Alex, we're taking on small rehab projects. They're not at a capital level, but they're doing what we can to upgrade little areas. And then the last one again is executing contracts. Next slide, please. So that is it, and I am happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. This is a bigger topic, and so I feel this is going to be more of a yes or no question, and if the answer is yes, we can discuss another time. But since you have both mentioned defensible space, I'm curious if some of the tightening standards around Zone 0, if that, how much, to what degree that affects, no, I'll keep it a yes or no. Are there any big changes at the statewide level that are affecting how you do your work?
Yes. You want yes or no?
Yeah, yes.
So I'll say that. So yes. So the state fire marshal did expand the level of rating of those defensible spaces. So the high severity zones have expanded. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, might be another topic for another time, but that's all I need. Thank you.
Other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation. I really liked the numbering system for the levels of service. I think that really helps clarify a lot. I think one thing over the years that I think we've kind of asked as a body, and we haven't really received any clarity on, is how exactly staff hours are divided up amongst general fund and landscape maintenance districts. Because we were always unclear of exactly how especially at times when we were really short-staffed, how we prioritized resources in that situation. Now, seems like we're much more fully staffed. We have more capacity. We have more skill levels. So I'd like to hear a little bit about what kind of strategy, what kind of formula, what kind of, what algorithm we're using to decide how to prioritize between general fund and LMDs.
So that's a great question, and I think there's been a little bit of confusion, and it's because I think prior staff hasn't been dynamic enough in explaining the difference of the LMDs and general fund. So our two LMDs, they have boundaries, right? And so all property owners within those boundaries pay an assessment. That assessment is collected with their property tax twice a year. That money is collected by Contra Costa County, then distributed to the city. That money is used in their budget only. So we have two separate budgets for each landscape maintenance district. Their complete operating budget does not mix with general fund. The staffing does not mix with general fund. Their equipment does not mix with general fund. There's very clear, definitive lines that are only crossed in a couple nuanced situations. And that would be one of our chippers was down in the general fund. We borrowed Hilltops. We brought it down, so we were using their resource, and essentially we loaned them ours when theirs went down. So we balanced it out. But staff does not mix and it doesn't mingle. We will go out for the third. We'll take general fund employees and have them do work in prep for the 3rd of July function. But other than special events and very one-off occasions, we have different staff, different budgets, and different equipment, and they stay separate.
Go ahead.
Quick one, because I think this is a great presentation. I hope Commissioners Rogers and Gomez, yes, can review it as well. Will this be sent to the council afterwards, or to the commission afterwards? Yes, the slides.
Yeah, I will send you the slides, and they are already posted on our
Okay,
website. So.
great. That was going to be the follow-up. Thank you.
I think that was a really great, I loved the presentation, but it was also explaining about the LMDs, because I know that becomes really a crazy thing, because of neighborhood councils, and, we hear horror stories about, oh, we're not getting but now that it's, oh, this is how it is, so it's, you guys are doing something. do you have a working group at Hilltop? I mean, a working group of volunteers from the neighborhood, or is it just pretty kind of? Because at one time I know they were very involved.
Yes, their activity has slowed down quite a bit, but there is an active group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to make sure, because, it'd be, well, they're doing all this. Well, who's in, you have to volunteer to get things done. I mean, that's just, the way it works. And I know about the Marina Bay, that I know that they're very active. For years, they've been very active. So that was a very good presentation. I appreciate it. Anything else? Thank you. I don't really have a report. I just, I've been kind of trying to, I take that back. I went to the Nickel Park Revitalize, or whatever they called that thing, I don't know. And I was a little, apprehensive because we weren't even, involved in it. I mean, if Vice Chair wouldn't have said anything, I'd been going, oh, okay. And it was kind of interesting because I wish there was a way they could have actually shown how that park has changed over the years from the beginning. And some people, I think, don't understand how that park is like the center of Richmond and how it actually works in Richmond. So it was kind of interesting. I mean, what people wanted where and when and why and all these things. So that was kind of interesting. I would hope that, we get involved in these things at the beginning so we kind of know what's going on. It just, makes things work better. But yeah, that was kind of it's like, okay. And then it was trying to remember what was there and what it, because I forgot all about the bird aviary, which probably because last time I saw a bird, it hit me in the head, so I don't really like birds very much. But otherwise, yeah, thank you.
Sure. Okay. So I think I already mentioned one of the first things was I did notice the turf seams were coming undone again at MLK, but it sounds like you're on it. I'm glad to hear. I attended, and I've been talking about this unpermitted adult league at Nickel Park. I went over during that game to go check it out, and it seems like the food people weren't set up. And I'm not sure if that was some sort of enforcement action or not. I know in terms of what Little League has complained about and the high school teams have complained about was glass and grease and trash. And so not having the food handler there, like, probably would help with a lot of that. So I'm not sure if there was an enforcement effort, but if there was, cool. I think we should revisit the idea of what to do for enforcement issues. Calling the cops is really not, ideal, as Commissioner Smith mentioned earlier, but we do need support somehow, and we need to find a solution to that. I don't know what that is. I wanted to bring up AB 310 goes into effect on January 1st. So we're halfway through the year already. AB 310 is Nevaeh's law. It requires all youth sports programs to provide CPR, AED, and first aid training to all adults in the programs, and must provide AED access. Now, AEDs are expensive, and as many policies that are well-intentioned, this law puts the onus on the organizations to figure this out. And organizations like the nonprofits that I work with and that I'm familiar with, the youth sports organizations, can't afford to have a $4,000 AED at every facility that you're simultaneously using due to the shortage of soccer fields and not having a sports complex in the city. On any given day, we'll have 4 different activities happening at the same time. That's $16,000 worth of AEDs, and not to mention the coordination, all that's involved. So I want to I would like to explore making some sort of committee or some sort of group with Rec and Parks to discuss how we can collaborate with city and school district to find ways to use our facilities as opposed to putting the onus on the organizations. How can we work with the facilities? You know, MLK Park is used by 4 different soccer organizations. Instead of 4 different organizations having 4 different AEDs, why not have one AED at that facility? Because we all use it. And I'm sure we'd all be willing to pitch in to get, figure this out. And so there needs to be some sort of collaboration, some sort of working group to figure this out, because the costs of youth sports just keep getting higher and higher. And this is one thing that could be solved with collaboration. So I wanted to bring that to our attention that by January, any youth sports, I'm not even just talking soccer, every sport, everything by state law. Now, again, enforceability, you're supposed to do it, right? But organizations like my own who do take these things seriously are trying to find ways to collaborate and come up with solutions for this. Lastly, a little bit of soccer updates. Right now, we are finishing up spring season and tryout season. It has been a month of 5 days a week on the soccer field. It's been a lot for me and for a lot of clubs, but what's happening right now is that there are major changes to how youth soccer groups are being divided. It used to be by calendar year, and now it's going to be by school year. So it's shifting starting July 1st. It's shifting all those ages, and there's a lot of challenges, a lot of logistical issues with these shifts. And so I wanted to just bring it to our attention that if anyone is familiar with like the youth soccer climate right now, it's very anxious. There are a lot of changes. Kids are feeling like their teams are breaking up. And so we're in a transition phase that a lot of people are anxious about. But despite that, there's a lot to be proud of. Richmond United Soccer Club was honored by City Council proclamation for their 30 years of serving the community. And Richmond United Soccer Club is also starting an adult league this summer. So if anyone's interested, let me know. And I did want to shout out to Richmond Soul, who had 2 teams make it to the State Cup final, which is a pretty big deal. So I just want to highlight them as well, that we have a lot of talent and a lot of dedicated volunteers and folks committed to youth sports here in town. And we deserve to provide them with services and facilities to elevate our youth experience. That's it. Thank you.
Hi. Just want to say that I appreciate the presentation and all the information. It was very clear. It was very thoughtful. Thank you. Also, I just want to say that on the 12th, I submitted a report about the graffiti on the Dirt World sign, and then I got a response, which was awesome, on the 18th that it was resolved. I haven't been out there personally to look at it yet, but I also do have to say that on my way riding here earlier that I rode on the Bay Trail, and I could tell that there was noticeably like no glass, there was no garbage. So thank you guys.
Just a little on Tiller Park. The trash bins seem to be working. I haven't seen any mirrors or windows or vacuum cleaners in there, so just a little update there, so thanks, guys. And the solar on Clinton, there's 3 new solar lights on Clinton. They look great, so thank you. I'm curious, was there an incident or like a report or something for like cars parked there or anything? Why there, I guess, is my question.
I was gonna say originally, I know kind of when I first started here at the city, kind of the neighborhood came together, and you were part of that when we met with Claudia, kind of organized it, Councilwoman Claudia. And so part of that conversation was about that area with illegal dumping, and so we put in that request, and about a year later it came through.
Thank you, looks great.
I think we're skipping over to me. Yeah. So I just wanted to flag that EB Mud is having a Public Gardens open house this Saturday from 10 to 1, and I believe 2 of Richmond's parks are included in that. There's BTA as well as the Dry Garden, which is just on the other side of the parking lot in front of, oh, I guess it's that way. I'm mixed around, by the parking lot. So might be interesting to some folks here. Also, since the Rec and Parks tour was mentioned, I noticed that not a lot of folks have RSVP'd on the calendar invite. Check that out and RSVP. I need to submit these on the app, but I'll just note that at Central Park, apparently there's been the second base has been stuck in the ground for over a year, so they've not been able to remove that after practices and scrimmages. But also at Judge Carroll Park, that is a baseball field. It is adjacent to a playground. There is a gate. That gate, when I was there, and I need to take a photo to correct this, but that gate, when I was there, wasn't able to close all the way, and there was a very large gap. And the issue with that is a lot of folks take their dogs to Judge Carroll Park because it is fully fenced around. Possibly not supposed to do that, but my concern there is the dogs and the kids and the very young children, possibly one escaping into the other area. So I'll need to file these and take a photo, but just wanted to flag that as a possibility. And since we have an esteemed guest here in the audience, I'll just say that I love the solar lighting, and I hope you guys get that $3 million request.
I've pretty much shared what I have. I've been running, helping with a family member in their health, so I haven't been here a lot, but I keep my eyes open.
Vice Mayor Robinson, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everybody. I don't really have a lot of new things to add. I think the biggest thing that's moving right now is budget. So we're going to have a budget session on June 9th, where we're actually going to be able to suss out and try to figure out all the requests and what we can fit, what we can't fit. There are a lot of kind of anticipated threats on the horizon in terms of economic threats. So it's a little bit of a stressful time when it comes to budget. We're not quite sure what we can afford, what we can't afford. And, you know, with some of the things that are being proposed on the ballot in November, that may threaten all of park work and may make it so there is no budget. And we may need to even consider layoffs if that ballot measure moves forward. So it's a strange budget year. And I'm just saying that because there's not a lot there's lots of needs and not a lot of clarity on what exactly is going to be in our future in terms of where the money is going to be mandated to go, especially because also the tax measure for healthcare did not pass. So we're anticipating great consequences from that as a city. That was covering not only kind of people's access to medical care, but also the kind of support and access we get for unhoused services, so behavioral health, mental health care. All those things are on the cutting block. So it's a really unclear time. And and we've heard all of the requests, and we want to do the most, but there's so much lack of clarity and a lot of things that may change come November that it may be a little bit of a circling pattern and a kind of only do what we are doing until we can see better. I think it's the biggest thing. I don't know if I'm missing anything else. Everybody, it's so awesome to have such a great staff. I don't have to think about those things. They've got it. Yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know.
Which, was it proposal measure that's gonna be on November? What is it?
It may be on the ballot, so they're gathering signatures now to make it mandatory to have 187 police and 50% of the budget automatically allocated to police. So adding that many police officers is extremely expensive, extremely. And it may, we're running the numbers now, but it may wipe out all the money we have been using for park improvements, new parks, new staff, engineers, all that kind of stuff. We might need to put that towards police if that passes.
Where can we find that to read?
It's been in the news. So, and then the RPOA has a press release out about it. And I believe the city manager will be bringing forward some information, like the financials on the impact of such a thing if we were mandated to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Anybody, any other questions?
Go ahead.
Just for budget issues on the horizon, I believe that in January that the One Big Beautiful Bill has some measure around how schools are funded and your ability to take basically some tax benefits, which they predict might substantially lower the revenue for public schools.
Yeah.
And I bring this up mostly because that might have impacts on recreation, I imagine. So that's just
there's
not
a
question, but I
whole
believe
there's a
it's-
whole avalanche of things that are going to be coming online from the One Big Beautiful Bill, from other things, and we believe that it'll have impacts for the city. We'll have to respond, even though if it's not our responsibility, we'll still feel the impact. So,
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. We have agenda setting. I would like to request that Alex get us a little video of his little your lawnmowers. I think we can attract some attention with that. I think I had a friend, he said they were watching.
I have a bunch of them. You want to watch them? Like, we could just hang out and watch mowing videos.
No,
All right.
they're remote. And then go up the hills and do things and. Yes, it's a remote lawn. I'm sorry, I just was like, mowers was all I could think of and like, Yeah, I think it'd be kind of, put something together that we can, and it might be nice, other groups might be interested in, oh yeah, look what they're doing here, yeah. Now somebody was watching it go up a hill and thought it was going to flip over, so the guy stopped her and brought it back down. I said, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Flipping out. But yeah, I think that would be kind of an interesting thing to go on and learn about, and because it is something, it still has to have a person there, but not quite so big things. I can come over. I used to watch them mow Wendell, which was very funny because that big old mower over there, and half the place would be no grass, and half the place would have grass. It'd be. I don't know if we have any other requests for topics. Yes.
Well, I just wanted to follow up with Commissioner Torres, who brought up exploring a working group or commission or committee or something around the issue of that health and safety. Is that something that we should have an agenda item or something in the future?
I could present on AB 310 and the expectations. I'd like the ability to have and maybe it could be this body, maybe it could be recreation, I'm not sure, but I'd like the ability for youth sports organizations to come together and discuss preferences, discuss barriers, just get an opportunity for all of us to get in the room to discuss this, to see what solutions could happen. Like I said, I think if we all got together, we all would all be able to pitch in to get equipment. I think that would require coordination with where to actually put the devices, and that's where city staff would have to come in. So I don't know if that's a working group. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I would love to, I mean, have a committee on this commission that looks at community sports programs. Just because I don't feel that, there's a whole history here with like the Safe Coalition and all these efforts that have been made in the past to kind of address resources into the sports programs in our community that haven't really come to fruition. So this could be, I don't know, it could be a committee, it could be a working group, it could be something short-term. But we do have 6 months to, allegedly, they keep pushing back the deadline. We apparently have 6 months to comply and to have a plan and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, is there a recommendation here from how to move forward? Is there like,
I myself think it might be, you know, everybody just kind of brainstorm within themselves about different things. She's talking about that. I'm thinking about where you can get people to donate AEDs. I work for the University of California Office of the President. We have AEDs all over the buildings that we're in. So when they get new ones, what do they do with the old ones? Things like that. Sometimes it's trying to get a state agency to donate something isn't easy, but you know, I've been there 15 years. I think I have some talk with those people, but yeah, but things like that, if we can figure out a way, maybe someone to donate, I mean, and training, I mean, yeah, AEDs pretty much train you. Yeah,
well, sure,
that's
but
the whole thing. It's
again, the clarity around, and I think that's where a meeting would be good, and maybe even having counsel come and help us with this interpretation, because I am not a lawyer. But my understanding is that there is ambiguity in the language that, do you need to have, you know, American Red Cross CPR training? It's like $100 a person to get that. Do you need that? U.S. Club Soccer already provides with a lot of that training online, so is that sufficient? I don't know. AAU basketball probably has a lot of similar trainings to what U.S. Club provides. Is that sufficient? I don't know. Either way, the training and the AED, there's two components, and the actual device, like you're saying, maybe there are donations, maybe there's ways of figuring out. It's going to be logistical issues because we know our population. You got to go bathroom again? Okay. There's logistical issues with our population, and we can't just have an AED put up at MLK Park. We just can't. So what do we
And
do?
that's what I was, obviously, there's opportunity that we're happy to explore with you. There's a lot of issues, and I mean, that's the first one that comes to mind, right? Where are you gonna put it? That it's not gonna be gone immediately. But outside of those, you know, minor roadblocks and those, I mean, we're happy to engage and have a conversation, absolutely.
What would be the best avenue for that engagement? Would it be for us to create a motion to create a working group to start that discussion, or how would that best work?
I kind of think first we need to, you know, everybody's going to have kind of their own part that they're looking at. And maybe this is what, you know, I want to figure out how we can do this. I want to figure out how we can do this. And then we can get together. I mean, I don't think we should just, oh, we're going to have a working group and nobody knows what, and we don't even, you know, I mean, I have no idea what all is in there. So, you know, and it could be one of these things where, yes, it comes into effect in January 1st of 2027, but we're not going to make you do it until January 1st of 2028, like they did with the curb, you know, the 20-foot curb thing. You know, they had it out there, but nobody, you know, people just totally ignored it. I mean, like, oh, okay, that's the law, okay. But that kind of thing. I think we need to kind of figure out where we fit in, what aisle we fit in, and then bring in Darren and such to go from there, I think.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Our risk management has a vendor that provides AEDs for our buildings. Right now, we are working with them on the AED for the plunge. And so that's one resource that we have that we need to go and check with them to see what the city's requirements would be. And then we can come back and report to you.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. I love it, yeah.
I think also because this regulation is being directed towards towards the organizations, it's not being directed at the city. we already have compliance that we have to maintain, that may create additional roadblocks because it's not technically a city issue, right?
Correct.
It's a private issue, so we would have to be risk and possibly our
Yeah,
legal team.
I mean,
take-
I'm sure
to
the
take a look at
attorney,
this,
I'm
so.
sure the attorney would have something to say about this whole
100%.
thing. I
That's
know
what I'm
that
saying. We're
works.
happy to have a discussion, but it's not a quick discussion. There would have to be a lot of.
No, I agree.
input from a lot of different areas.
Yes.
Are there any details for June 27th as far as like where we're going to meet and the parks and, yeah?
Not yet. I will get that schedule done and we will send it out to you. Yes, you will report to the Richmond Recreation Complex parking lot, not on Lavanya Dijon side. That's what happened with some years ago with, I believe, 2 of our council members who were riding with us. They were waiting on the other side, facing Lavanya Dijon, and we were all in the parking lot, and we had taken off. And then we got these phone calls, and then it was a lot of, confusion. So you will definitely report in the parking lot. You know how to enter there, right? So wait in the parking lot, and then come inside the building. That's where we will meet and greet, and then we'll get into the van and drive off. But we will prepare a list of parks that we will visit and facilities we will visit. That schedule we'll give to you as soon as it's done, but it will be in the next couple of days. Yeah.
Is the time the same, 9 to 1?
It's 9 to 1.
9 to, okay, good.
9 to 1.
Okay, if we don't have anything else, let's adjourn the meeting.